I'd like to take just a minute to talk about how to get the most out of what we read. My quizzes and exams are not set up in a way that you're having to collect trivia from these literary works. I'm not giving you fill-in-the-blank study guides. The main goal of this class is to really read the literature and let it work in us and let us respond to it. The works of literature that last over time are like smooth stones in a river of human civilization. Great literature responds to some deep and core problems of human existence. Fear and hope, anger and violence, sex, pleasure, creativity. People keep coming back to these areas of life because they're so complicated and often confusing. We struggle in the face of our own mortality. And the stories and the poetry, the works of art that help us engage these core human problems are endlessly compelling to us. And so the great works of world literature are like smooth stones in a river, are those that have been read and have been compelling again and again to generations of people, that have been passed on and inspired future creativity and thought. The works that you're going to be reading then are works that have been meaningful to thousands, maybe millions of other people in human history. And the ideas that they're dealing with have shaped the world that you're living in, maybe shaped your own identity and your family and culture in ways that you don't even realize until you read the works and we talk about them. And so when we read, the main thing that I ask you to do is just to fully experience the text. Don't be reading to try to collect trivia. Just let the story or the poem work for you. Make sure that you're reading somewhere where you can give it your attention, that you can read undistracted. For some people, that's going to be in a quiet place, maybe out in nature. For others, it might be in a coffee shop where there's a little bit of a background hum, but nobody is coming over to interrupt you and talk to you. And then as you read, make sure that you're imagining what the text is asking you to imagine. Do think about the words and what they mean. Do let the pictures and the emotions rise to your mind. One of the most rewarding things about reading literature is that even though the text is showing us something that we've not experienced, we can only experience the text based on things already stored in our memories, our hearts, and our imagination. It's like the technology, the text is a kind of technology that activates things inside of us that come to life and show us something that we already knew but just never had words for. So as you read, you might pay attention to things that the story or the poem shows you that you have thought about, that you've cared deeply about, that the work gives new words to explain. But you might also watch for things that the work gives you eyes to see or ears to hear something that you've really never thought about before. And yet when you read it, something deep inside of you responds and says, I can understand this is valuable or this is true. It's at those times that literature changes us, expands who we are, or broadens the wavelength of our ability to relate to our world. So I look forward to hearing what the literature means to you and what it activates in your mind and your heart as we read. You'll get a chance to talk to me about this on discussions in your responses, and if you ever want to talk about something, send me an email. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you.